In this video, I will show you how you can add Wave invoices to Google Sheets automatically. So what will happen, every time you create a new invoice here, the same invoice along with all details will be added here automatically. And to automate this whole process, we will have to first build an integration, build a connection in this Wave and Google Sheets application, which I will do with the help of Up Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing integration and automation software using which you can connect multiple applications and automate your task. I am an existing user of Up Pabbly Connect, so I am already logged in here. You can create your free account in Up Pabbly Connect in just 2 minutes from this sign up free button, and in the free account you will also get free tasks to test these kind of amazing automation. Now once you will log in and reach out to the dashboard of Up Pabbly Connect, click on this blue button, that is create workflow, and then provide a random name to your workflow, to your automation. I have directly pasted the name as add Wave invoice details to Google Sheets. Okay, now it will ask you to select the folder in which you want to create your automation workflow. Okay, so I'm selecting this main workflow folder, and after that I'm clicking on this create button, and you will see 2 boxes. So these boxes are called as trigger and action, and here the trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So whenever something happen in your first application, then automatically do this in your next application. Okay, so in this way you need to always choose your applications in this trigger and the action window in which you are building an automation. Okay, according to our use case, I want that whenever anyone create a new invoice in this Wave application, then automatically the invoice details should be added in this Google Sheets application. Okay, so in this way I have selected both the applications in this trigger and the action window, and by clicking on this plus icon you can add as many as action steps as you want and connect different applications with each other and automate your complex business processes. Okay, and now I will be connecting these 2 applications one by one with the Up Pabbly Connect. So firstly, selecting the trigger event, that is new invoice. You can also read the instructions, triggers when a new invoice is created. So yes, I want to perform the same. Now clicking on connect, clicking on this connect with the Wave, and here it will ask you for the access. Okay, so if you're already logged in, you do not have to provide the access. You will notice that it will automatically detect the access and the connection will be done. Simply provide the permission. Okay, clicking on allow access, basically providing the permission, and in this way the authorization will be successful and my Wave application will be immediately connected with the Up Pabbly Connect. Okay, and now as soon as I click on this button, you will notice that the detail of the invoices will be captured here automatically. Okay, so before I click on this button, how about I create a new invoice in front of you? Okay, so yes, I am adding just a random invoice here, asking to add a customer. So selecting this Adam Smith as the customer, asking for the invoice number. Well, I will keep it as it is. Invoice date will be 15th of January 2024, and the payment date will also be the same. Here I have this email ID, and it is asking to add the item for which you are creating this invoice. So how about I add multiple products? Yes, in this video I will be focusing on how you can add multiple products in your Google Sheets automatically, that too in a sorted way. Nobody is going to teach you the same. Okay, so follow my instructions and you will learn everything. Okay, so how about I select this particular product also, and along with that I am also going to add one more product. Okay, so these are the several prices, different prices of the following products. How about I click on the save and continue button, and once the invoice is ready in the dashboard of wave.com, finally I am going to click on that save and send test request button, and you will notice the same invoice details will be received here as a response. Alright, here we have all the details. Let me even show you the details one by one. Here we have the quantity, here we have the total price, that is 5365. I'll have to check, and yes, it is the same price. Here we have other details also. You can even notice the date and time of the invoice creation. Here we have the name of first product and the description of the first product. Where is the second product? Give me a second, I'll show. Alright, here I have the second product, and in this way I even have the details of third product. Okay, so the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between Wave and Pabbly Connect software is working absolutely fine. Okay, so now onwards, what will happen? Every time someone will create a new invoice in this Wave software, the details will be captured via Pabbly Connect in every 10 minutes, because this trigger will check for the new data in 10 minutes. Okay, so basically the trigger here is the polling based, which is going to capture the data in every 10 minutes, not immediately. Okay, but before I move further, here I would like to tell you one more very important thing. Remember, our use case was to add the order details, to add the invoice details to Google Sheets, and currently I have all the product details and other details into the separate field. Okay, so how I am going to collect this data into a single field so that I can easily add this data to Google Sheets, I can easily send this data to Google Sheets. Okay, so I will have to capture the same response, not into the simple response but basically into the advanced response. Okay, so firstly I have disabled the simple response and have enabled the advanced response. How about I click on the save and send test request button once again, and now I will check this data once again whether I have got this line items data into the array format or not. And here you can find under this node items, you will notice a pair of curly braces and square brackets. So basically we have the data of invoices, basically the invoice ID as well as the product name as well as the description, and here we also have the quantity, price and the subtotal. Okay, even we have this currency. Okay, so in this way, firstly you should capture the same response into the advanced response. Basically this data has been captured into the array format, and now I am going to convert this data into the simpler format. So how I am going to do that? Before this Google Sheets step, I will click on this plus icon and will search for the data transformer, which is an amazing feature of Pabbly Connect via which you can actually transform your data. Okay, let's say you have lot of line itemizer, basically the product details. So using this line itemizer only, you can actually transform your data. Now simply click on connect and it will be connected immediately, and the very first thing it will ask you to provide that line items array. Okay, so the interesting thing here is I'm not going to manually copy the above array and paste below again and again. Okay, I am going to map this array so that it can be replaced automatically when our automation will work in real time. And how mapping can be performed? Click on that field, and here in this line item array we will click on this field, and you will find the above data here in the drop down. Open that data, and from here you can map that data, and here I have all the line items. Now if I will click on this button, you will notice the same data will be captured. Basically we will have the product name as well as the product price as well as other details separately into the separate fields. Okay, so how about I show you the response? All right, here I have all the product name, the description, the quantity, the price, the subtotal, etc. Okay, so in this way the third step of our automation is done. Well, I will have to check whether it is third or a second step. Well, it was a second step. Okay, so the second step of our automation is done. Now I'll show you how you can forward this data, basically the quantity, the price, the subtotal value in this Google Sheets. Okay, but before I do that, you will have to notice one more very important thing, that is all these values are actually separated via comma. Okay, so instead of comma, I actually want a new line in between these values so that I can add this data into a better way. Basically the data will look even better if I will add the details separated via a new line. Okay, but if I will add the same data separated via comma in this particular way, of course it is not going to look good. Okay, so that is why I am going to apply one more thing here. Okay, if you do not want this kind of data, simply click on this plus icon after your invoice step, via which you can actually do lot of things within your text. Okay, so simply select the action event, that is replace text. Yes, I am going going to replace the comma with a /n. Now what is this /n? Basically it is a new line character using which you can also add new line among your text in between your text. Okay, firstly it is asking to provide the text in which you want to perform all this stuff. Okay, so again I'm going to map this data from my data transformer step only. Okay, and here I have the quantity which I have mapped, asking for the find. So I would like to find this comma in this value in this quantity, and then I would like to replace it with a /n. Clicking on this button, save and send test request, and you will notice the magic that all these commas will be gone. Okay, so here I have all the quantity. Okay, so the first thing is done, and now I will click on this plus icon and will apply this text formatter feature once again, but this time not for the product quantity but for some different thing. Okay, so in this way I am going to add multiple text formatter. So in order to avoid any kind of confusion, how about I start renaming all these text formatter steps. Okay, so adding a colon and replacing the quantity. Okay, or well, it was not actually quantity, replacing the comma for the quantity thing. Okay, so let me first correct the spelling. Okay, and replacing for quantity, clicking on update, and in the same way I am going to rename this particular value, but I'll have to check that what exactly I am going to convert, I am going to replace. Okay, so this is the response, and yes, I can change this price. Okay, so how about I rename the same step for the price only? Give me a second. Well, the rename option is not visible. Firstly I'll have to apply this feature, that is text formatter. Give me a second, and now I will be selecting the same action event, that is replace text. Give me a second. Here is the replace text, clicking on connect, and it will be connected immediately, and now we can easily rename this particular step. Okay, so this time I'm going to change something like replace for price. Okay, now I think this step is looking good, and again in this text I am going to map the data from my data transformer step. Basically I'm going to map the prices. Okay, here again I will add a comma, and in this replace field I am going to add again this new line character, and clicking on this button, and you will notice among the prices also you will get a new line which I can easily send to Google Sheets. Okay, so in this way our fourth step of our automation is done, but before that, how about I correct this spelling? In place of 0, I think it should be replace for price. Okay, all right, it is looking good. And one more thing I would like to tell you here is, instead of applying this text formatter step starting from scratch, you can also clone this particular step. Yes, you just need to click on this 3 dot and then click on this copy step button, and after that again click on this 3 dot and then click on this paste step button, and you will notice that the same step will be pasted here in the exact way. Let me even show you that. Here you can notice the prices are already mapped, and this comma and this /n. Okay, so first of all I am going to rename this particular step. Okay, but before that, how about I cross check the data that for which particular value I am applying this text formatter feature. All right, here I have the quantity, the price which I have already changed. Looking for other values, well, we have the total value. So again, it is completely up to you whether you want to perform the same or not. So now I am going to perform the same for this product name. Okay, so scrolling down, and here for the fifth step I will be renaming it as replace for product name. Clicking on update and selecting the action event, and the action event will also be the same, but in place of text I will have to map that product name. So let me open this data transformer step, and here I have the product name field, and this find and replace is going to be same. Okay, clicking on this button, and you will notice that we will receive a response, we will receive the data. All right, here I have the data. Well, the problem with this data is along with a comma it also includes use this bracket and this inverted comma. Okay, so I cannot proceed in the same way. I'll have to do some other thing. Okay, so what I can do here is, instead of replacing this comma with slash n, how about I replace the whole value? What does this mean? Whole value means this inverted comma as well as this square bracket. Again I will add a comma, then I am going to open one more square bracket. I'm really sorry for that, and again I will add a comma. So basically I'm replacing this whole value, this comma, bracket, again a comma, then bracket, and this inverted comma with a slash n. Okay, so clicking on this button and let's wait for this response. All right, here I have the data into new line. I just need to replace this initial and the end square bracket. So how I am going to do that? Click on this plus icon and again apply text formatter feature. Okay, give me a second, but this time instead of going with find and replace text, I'll go with the text parser. Okay, why I'm selecting the same? I'll show you everything step by step. Alright, so here I have this text parser, clicking on connect and it will be connected immediately, and again in this text I am going to select the same details which I have got via this replace for product name field. So let me map the same, and after that I will have to provide this text to match after and this text to match before. Basically you will have to provide the starting and the ending text so that you can get the middle value. So let me add the same, and here also I am going to add the same. I think everything is looking good. Clicking on this button, and I'm really expecting that I will receive the product name in a better way, basically separated with a new line. Okay, maximizing it, and here you can notice all the commas have been removed. That means till now our automation is working absolutely fine, and currently we have added almost 6 to 7 steps. So now I think I'm ready to add this data in Google Sheets, because now I have the product name as well as the product price as well as the product quantity. Okay, so selecting the Google Sheets, well, the application is already selected. I just need to connect it with the Pabbly Connect. Okay, so selecting the add a new row, clicking on connect, click on add a new connection, and if you're connecting it for the first time, you will have to provide the access of your Google Sheets account. I can also use the existing connection. Clicking on save, and in this way my Google Sheets account will be immediately connected with the Pabbly Connect. And here you can notice the name of my spreadsheet is Invoice, so you can find the same spreadsheet. In fact, all the spreadsheets that are available in our account have started visible here. Okay, so I'll go with this invoice only, and as soon as I have selected the spreadsheet, you can notice whatever the sheet is available here, it has got selected automatically. And not just that, whatever the columns I have added inside my spreadsheet, that is this invoice ID, the customer name, customer email, product name, product price, and this date, all these columns are visible here as the feed. Okay, so basically I just need to provide the details here, and in this way the details will be added to Google Sheets. Firstly, it is asking for the invoice ID, so clicking here, and now I can map this invoice ID from this wave step. Okay, so give me a second, let me search for the same. Alright, so you can notice this node ID. This is actually the ID of invoice only, asking for the customer name. So how about I search for the same name, which was something like Adam Smith, and again telling you this is just a dummy invoice. I'm just showing you how things can be created. Asking for the customer email. Okay, so if I will search for the email address, you won't find that email here, so you will have to apply one more action step to fetch this information. Okay, for now I am leaving this particular field blank. Let me provide the data in other field. Let's say it is asking for the product name. So remember, I have just provided the text formatter feature in the last step, from where I have actually got the relevant text. Okay, so how about I map the same, asking for the price. Well, for the price I have this particular text formatter which I have mapped successfully, asking for the date. Okay, so I'll have to check whether I have this date related data in my invoice or not. Yes, I do have this data. clicking on this button, save and send test request, waiting for the response to be received here. And did you notice every detail has been added here automatically? Okay, the only thing remaining is this customer email. So I'll show you how you can fetch this information. Let me also correct the formatting of this particular content. Okay, I think now everything is looking good. Coming back here, and before this Google Sheets step, I'll have to click on this plus icon once again, and here I will add one more action step where I will be connecting this Wave once again. Okay, so yes, I have selected the same, and this time instead of selecting a new invoice, the action event will be get the details of the customer. Okay, so here we have three options. The get customer by email, well, we do not have any email ID, so I will have to go with this guest customer by ID. Okay, so yes, I have the ID, so how about I use that ID and fetch the customer related information, basically the customer email. Okay, so this time I have used the existing connection, and in this way my Wave account is connected with Pabbly Connect once again. The business has got selected already and automatically asking for the customer ID, so I cannot add this customer ID from this drop down, because if I do so, what will happen? This customer ID will remain same. Basically in our automation, for every new invoice the same customer will be fetched. Okay, so I will have to firstly enable this mapping button, then I will have to remove this existing ID, and then I will have to map the ID of the customer. Okay, so looking for the customer ID, and let me tell you this thing once again, that whatever the details we will provide here manually will remain same, but whatever the details we will provide here via mapping will be replaced automatically when our automation will work in real time or in next time or on every new invoice creation. Okay, so yes, we have this data looking for the email ID, and this is the email ID which I can map here successfully easily. So opening this Google Sheets step, and give me a second, let me map the same ID in the same way. Okay, so searching for the email ID and finally clicking on this button, save and send test request, and you will notice once again the response will be received, and the response is positive. That means the data has been added to Google Sheets automatically, and here you will notice all the details. Alright, this time we have the customer email also. Okay, so in this way, with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can integrate Wave and Google Sheets and collect the invoice details in Google Sheets automatically. Okay, and just in case if you want to collect the invoice of a single product only, you do not have to provide these steps, basically this data transformer and this data text formatter step. In such cases, you will have to create only a two-step automation and your work will be done. But if you want to collect the data of multiple products, you will have to create the 7-step automation inside your Pabbly Connect account. Okay, and just in case if you want to access this automation, I will also attach the link of my workflow into the description box. Click on this link, sign up for free into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access the same workflow inside your own Pabbly Connect account, that too for free. And once this automation is ready inside Pabbly Connect, after that you can even close Pabbly Connect, sit back and relax, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually. Not just these applications, you can integrate multiple applications and automate your business with Pabbly Connect. You can ask your queries at forum.pabbly.com. My team will surely answer to your questions. This is the website of Pabbly Connect, and for the latest updates of Pabbly Connect and unique automation ideas, you can join our Facebook group, that is formget.deals. If you have found this video helpful in any way, share it with your friends and colleagues and also help them to automate their business. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video.